Hello, my name is Andrew Collins and I'm a telly addict. Hooray! Unfurl the bunting, raise the flags, blow up the balloons. Downton's back for its 4th series to lift our weary spirits as the long nights draw in. Hooray!
I thought you might like to take this down with you, in case you want to walk. It's quite chilly.
Where's the black one?
Oh yeah, Matthew died in a car crash at the end of the last episode, the second of 2 popular characters to meet their maker in Series 3. That's quite a deficit for Series 4. I mean, Michelle Dougherty as Lady Mary was never Sarah Millican, but now she's in the Sisters of Mercy. Even the opening credits were gloomy. I don't mind telling you, we did a Downton marathon in our house on Sunday, watching the last episodes of Series 3 consecutively on ITV3 to get back up to speed with the story. I wish I'd done that with Season 5 of Breaking Bad.
Very, very sad. I can't believe it's time for the stone already.
6 months. They always leave it 6 months for the grave to settle.
Still, it's great to have the old fossils back, delivering exposition as if throwing it out of the back of a lorry. And if the lords and ladies all had faces like a wet weekend, at least the servants were still up for a bit of banter.
She only tried to give me orders.
You mean she mistook you for a servant?
But he's a servant.
Don't tell him that. He'll never get over this shock.
As long as you set your expectations to, oh God, work tomorrow morning, and don't want testing beyond the fundamentals of post-Asquith death duty, Downton ticked all its own boxes. I think it's a compliment to Julian Fellowes to treat it like a comedy. Even the serious bits can be funny.
Not this again.
Not what?
Oh, nothing.
I won't go into too much plot in case you've taped it, although if ever a show demanded viewing on the intended Sunday night, it's Downton. Needless to say, even in its widow's weeds, it's a welcome, warm presence, like a trusty Labrador at your feet.
I don't think so. I don't think she's up to seeing many people.
If your taste is for drama a little less nostalgic and signposted, a little more contemporary and urban, but just as romantic, I have the very thing. The equally welcome return of the Fried Chicken Shop to Channel 4.
What are we going to do then?
What do you mean?
What are we going to do?
Don't mind.
Originally commissioned as a cutting-edge one-off which aired to surprise acclaim in February, Clapham High Street Nugget Bar Rooster's Spot has been supersized to a 3-part series. Bigger bucket, more bite-sized morsels.
I wouldn't tell my child.
Why?
You know why?
Why?
Because I love you.
That's sweet. Number
You're
2.
neat.
I know.
Tyrone and Leah, who I'm daring to assume aren't yet giving us scripted reality, even though they're mic'd up. The format's simple: 1 location, fixed cameras, 3 days of filming, 3 weeks, maybe even 3 months of editing. This is your real counterculture.
So do you have a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why? You're so cute.
Are
you married?
No.
That means it doesn't count unless you're married.
Marriage gradually insinuated itself as a theme to this first episode, whose producer-director Alice Bowden plays her hand lightly as she deftly stewards the always hungry and often inebriated human traffic.
Nah, this is bullshit, man. It's not even hot.
When do you think you're ready for the sprog? What age? What age do you think babies will be your way?
My way.
My way.
28, I reckon.
Are you telling me I'm 25? Are you telling me I've only got 3 years left in me?
Yes. I'll say 5 more years. Work my way up the career, then get a nice little place in Suffolk.
She's a very, very kind person. A very, very kind person. That's why I decided to get married with her, but I don't want to tell her. I don't know why, because I'm nervous or I feel shy.
मैं तो गल दसा शादी ब्याह ना बार-बार नहीं होंदे
नहीं होंगे
ठीक है ਇੱਥੇ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਰੌਲਾ ਹੈ ਇੱਥੇ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਇਹ ਚ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਟੋਰੀ ਇਹਦਾ ਅੱਬਾ ਜੀ ਕੰਮ ਤੋਂ ਆਏ ਤੇ ਮਾਂ ਨੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਸਾਲਨ ਕਰਾਂ ਰੋਟੀਆਂ ਫੁਲਕੇ ਲੱਥ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ
Gotta take it out. Gotta take it out.
My big plan is to get married and have kids, but I'm just not sure it's ever going to happen.
It'll happen, mate.
A beautiful slice of life. Staying in London, we moved from SW4 to E1. We're 3 episodes into the 4th series of gothic procedural Whitechapel on ITV, whose ratings seem to be down after a move from Monday to Wednesday, even though it's on ghoulishly good form.
The neck's been broken. This rat was killed deliberately. And there's something inside it.
It's basically CSI East End, and obsessive-compulsive Rupert Penry-Jones and grizzled Phil Davis don't just investigate the murder of rats.
It is definitely human.
Afraid so. Male, 40 to 50 years old. The vesiculation around the lips would suggest that a liquid anaesthetic was applied, probably chloroform.
Could it be surgical?
Doubtful. I've done this procedure myself hundreds of times. When you know what you're doing, it's just like peeling a satsuma.
It's dark, thematically and literally, and pretty nasty, but it has a nice line in self-deflating black humour. Every one of its first 14 episodes were written by tireless creators Caroline Ip and Ben Court, but they've gifted episodes 15 and 16 to one of its stars.
Mum, open a window.
I don't have a window. We can't lose our history.
Yes, the League of Gentlemen's Steve Pemberton, who plays the comic relief basement ripperologist Ed, has subtly camped up the dialogue of the typically well-plotted current case about a psychopath who flays the skin off his victims.
Time of death?
Between 8 and 24 hours. I'd normally do a rectal temperature, but...
No rectum.
The underrated Claire Rushbrook there in the plum role on any cop show, The Pathologist. Incidentally, there's a series arc to do with a weird liquid coming out of taps, and this mysterious woman score a point for spotting the film reference.
Allow me.
Good evening. Who's it to?
Louise. Ivor.
Angela Pleasance, daughter of Donald, excellent horror credentials, as Louise Ivor. Louis Cypher, played by Robert De Niro in Angel Heart, a cipher for Lucifer, a ripple, I think. Fancy watching a film?
The music leaps into the foreground, and suddenly Johnny Boy is Jumping Jack Flash, and he's a gas. And we know Charlie can't trust him. Look at Charlie's face. He knows Johnny Boy's gonna be trouble.
If there's one thing I like more than watching a film, and I really like watching films, it's watching a film with a clever person talking over the top of it. Welcome to BBC4's Sound of Cinema with Neil Brand. Writer, composer and venerable silent movie accompanist, Brand is the perfect host for this 3-part history of movie music. Far from a mere tour guide, he's hands-on. Here he is annotating John Barry's score for the Ipcress file.
Even to the point of matching a note sounded by a coffee grinder when it's working.
The first show was all about orchestral soundtracks, and although it landed our man a trip to Hollywood, he wasted no opportunity to pay his respects at places of historical interest.
Wow. When you think of the people who have worked in this space, all the Warner Brothers music was recorded here right through the 30s.
And genuflect to semi-religious artefacts such as composer Wolfgang Korngold's baton.
May I?
Yes.
Thank you. Wow.
Yes.
That is astonishing.
You think you've become blasé about a subject, and then a presenter like Brand comes along and not only enlightens you further, he reawakens what made you love the subject in the first place. Using his irrepressible avuncular enthusiasm, he teased some fresh stuff out of already well-grilled interviewees like Martin Scorsese on Mean Streets.
The first beats of Be My Baby, they just emerged. And they're with me all the time. Even when I'm on set, it's always... And they know. Everybody looks at me. Yeah, okay. And it's just what I do.
A highlight of episode 2, which looked at pop and jazz, for an overjoyed Brand as well as for us, was this audience with Mary Poppins co-songsmith Robert Sherman.
We were called in, and there were Walt Disney, all of them, singing Knees Up, Mother Brown, kicking their feet up in the air. And they're all out of breath, and Walt said, "Now, I want you to write me a song like this, right?" We said, "Yes, Walt, we'll write you a song like that." So we started with step in time, step in time, step in time, step in time. You never need a reason, never need a rhyme. Step in time, you step in time. Take your elbows.
What the BBC does best. Wait a minute, did this remind you of something? Of course.
Come on, boys.
A lot of animosity towards Peaky Blinders around here last week, but I remain a fan. Its ambition is cinematic, and that's worth a few dodgy Birmingham accents. I really like the way Cillian Murphy's Digbeth Dillinger, Tommy Shelby, turned off the film in a cinema in order to have a quiet word with his sister, Ada, also well played by Sophie Rundle.
So go on, cut him. Cut him up and chuck him in the cut. Oi! I'm a Shelby too, you know. Put my fucking film back on.
You'll never get to present film 2013 with language like that, young lady. And finally, a new sitcom on BBC1. Now, the last time I uttered those words, it was
A complete balls up.
still.
I think I'll rest a little more.
This is Father Figure, a vehicle for force of nature Irish comic Jason Byrne, adapted from his Radio 2 series and filmed before a live studio audience to ensure a critical boycott. But it's not aimed at critics. It's a wacky family comedy built around tomfoolery like this.
Got the pop. Done.
And this. And furthermore, this. As a child raised on the double-deckers and the antics of Charlie Caroli, I would have lapped this up. So why is it going out at 10:35 p.m? I'm not a TV scheduler, but surely the audience most likely to appreciate slapstick are in bed by then. So, back to Harris at the fried chicken shop for your moment of zen.
That shop is like a crazy place because you don't know what's going on with you in next minute. You don't know what is going to happen with you. It suddenly is, everything is happening suddenly. So I think so that is crazy place for me, for another people's.